I was so excited. But why was I so excited? I couldn't believe that I was going to actually see the Kaaba in Makkah. Would it be everything I anticipated? Well, you'll have to wait and see. We had tourist visas and were going to explore more than just Makkah and Medina. But the Umrah came first. More on the Umrah later. So we were on a British Airways flight to Riyadh, and then we would make our way to Taif and then Mecca to do our Umrah. We booked economy plus seats because they're supposed to give you a bit more space, a bit more leg room. There was a little bit more leg room, but they weren't that much wider than the economy seats, so I don't know if it was worth it. The food was good. As I said, it tasted better than it looked. It looked a bit like school dinners, but it was still edible. We arrived in Riyadh at about 10 p.m. and King Khalid International Airport is very clean, very modern and quite easy to navigate through. It's not absolutely massive, so that helps. Then we had to collect our car because we were going to drive to Mecca, which is a very, very long way away. And so our adventure begins. So, my first impressions of Saudi Arabia were really, really positive because I was a bit worried that it would be quite restrictive for me as a Muslim woman, but it wasn't. I don't normally wear a headscarf, but I did wear a headscarf there just to respect the country's customs and rules. This was an epic drive, and hats off to my husband for doing it all in one go. It's the equivalent of driving from London all the way up into the Highlands and reaching Oban. That's round about the same sort of distance, so well done to him. A couple of hours after seeing the sunrise, we arrived in Taif and BOUDL Taif, the hotel that we were staying at. They were absolutely brilliant, even though we were 24 hours late because of our delayed flight. I will be making a video about the BOUDL Taif hotel, so look out for it. So after breakfast at the hotel and a good rest, we set off for the most important place for all Muslims, and that is Mecca, or Makkah as it's really called. The beautiful holy city of Makkah is surrounded by the Sirat mountains, and Makkah is at an elevation of 277 meters. Next we have two views of King Fahd Gate, which is gate number 79, and it's one of 210 entry gates to the HARAM SHAREEF. When we were there in December 2022, it was blocked off because it seems to be under some sort of refurbishment, so we had to enter the HARAM SHAREEF to the right of it. So before you can actually go and do an Umrah at the Makkah HARAM SHAREEF, you need to be in a state of ihram, and I think some people get very confused that ihram is the clothes that you wear, but it's not. It's actually being in a state of purity and devotion. The clothes that you wear are part of it, but it's not just that. And also, before you go there, you have to actually make your intention clear that you want to do an Umrah, and that is done at the boundary around Makkah, which is called the Miqat. This is the Umrah guide that we used, and it has a cord so that you can drape it around your neck and use it as necessary. We found it really easy to use and access. It has all the prayers and du'as that you need. It takes you through step by step how to actually do your Umrah. Before arriving in Makkah, we had used the Nusuk app to book a 2-hour session between midnight and 2 in the morning for our Umrah. So we quickly checked into our hotel, and it was just after midnight that we were heading towards the Haram Sharif to go and do our Umrah. Even at midnight, there were crowds and crowds of people heading towards the Haram Sharif. The anticipation that I was feeling, oh my gosh, it was just overwhelming. I just couldn't wait to get inside. And as you get inside the Haram, you have to either go barefoot or change into clean footwear. After that, you head down some steps, and then it's actually the anticipation of seeing the Kaaba for the first time. Couldn't wait to do it, I really couldn't. My heart was pounding, but I had to keep my eyes lowered so that, you know, my first look at it was when I was actually quite close to it, and it was really, really hard to do. It was really hard not to look up, but I had to do it. So, the long-awaited moment had arrived. I was seconds away from my first sight of the holy, glorious Kaaba. As I lifted my eyes slowly upwards, I was in awe as I took my first look at the Kaaba in the flesh. I was speechless, but my heart was bursting with so many emotions that it's hard to describe. I felt close to Allah, I felt at peace with myself, and I had no worries in my head or my heart. It was enough just being there. It had totally and utterly exceeded my expectations. The next step is to head towards the starting point of Tawaf, and Tawaf is actually the anti-clockwise circuits that you do around the Kaaba. You have to head just before the corner where the black stone or the Hajar al-Aswad is, and look out for a green light on the masjid opposite the Kaaba. This is your starting point. You must do 7 complete anti-clockwise circuits of the Kaaba, and you must not go into the semicircular area known as Hijr Ismail because it's considered to be part of the Kaaba. If you do enter this while doing your Tawaf is invalid and you have to do it all over again. After completing your Tawaf, you need to go and read 2 rak'ahs of prayer, and the Umrah guide will tell you what to do. After reading the 2 rak'ahs of prayer, have a drink of Zamzam water and move to the area where Sa'i will happen. It's located adjacent to the Kaaba in the Haram. The word Sa'i means to strive, walk or pursue, and it is the ritual of walking back and forth 7 times between the 2 small hills of Safa and Marwa. The distance between the 2 hills is 450 meters, and 7 laps is equal to about 3.15 kilometers or about 2 miles. You start at Safa and walk to Marwa. This is 1 lap. In the middle of each lap, there is an area of green lights. Men have to run slowly, and women can just walk at their normal pace. Sa'i is performed in remembrance of Hagar and her son Ismail, who wanted some water, and that Hagar actually ran between the two hills of Safa and Marwa looking for water for him. This is the origin of Zamzam water. The final part of the Umrah will allow you to leave your state of Iran. Men have to have their head shaved, and this is called halq. Men can have their hair cut shorter, but the greater blessings are given from shaving of the head. Women have to cut a fingertip length from all their hair, not just one lock of hair, because only cutting that length from all the hair allows them to come out of the state of Iran. You must not change your ihram clothes until you have had halq or taksir done. After completing the final part of our Umrah, we actually headed back to our hotel to pack and to actually leave for the second holiest city for Muslims, and that is the city of Medina. It was another longish drive, not as long as the one from Riyadh to Taif, but it was still going to be a 4-hour drive. So watch out for part 2 of our Saudi adventure, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please like, subscribe, share and turn on your notifications. I would love to hear from you, so please comment below.